Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. Okay, so today we're going to do this look. This is the last look that I'm doing for my review for the Thin Ice palette from Copacetic Cosmetics. And I'm going to, while I'm talking, as in my last review, if you've seen that already, I don't know, I'm going to put the pictures of my two other looks that I did with the palette right on top of me so you can see them while I'm talking close up. Okay, so I did 3 looks with this palette. Of course they are all blue, obviously, because the whole palette is monochromatic blue. This is how she looks, and I am so glad to have this because this is really my first 9-pan monochromatic palette, because I don't want to compare this even with Colourpop. I don't have any of those Colourpop palettes, but this is really a gem like you would not believe. I did not know that this palette would be so good. I have worked with the Elysium palette, which was their second palette, first because I got that first, and I knew already that if this is the same formula like the Elysium palette, this would be insanity and it would be a total pleasure, and it was. Spoiler alert. I'm going to gush more about that, of course, at the end when I have my review part. But I just want to say that this is so versatile that I was really surprised when I actually started to dig into this palette. And if you don't know, this is my new format, how I'm like reviewing my palettes. I'm, for like a smaller palette like this, I'm using like 3 looks. For a bigger palette, maybe 4 or 5, and I'm just doing one look every single day in a row, and then the last look I'm filming. So this is what I filmed today, and this is what you're going to see in a second, how I created this. Just like last time, it's going to be super sped up so you can see what I'm doing, but it's not going to be boring and it's not going to take a super huge big amount of time, because this video is of course about the review and not really about creating the look, just about basically the finished look. So this is the finished look. It is the most bombastic and spectacular that I did, of course, with this palette, and I just really felt like I needed to do something like this with this palette because it is a monochromatic palette. There is a limit to the variety, of course, what you can do, and that is not a criticism of the palette. It's just the fact that monochromatic palettes, like they come with that, you know. It is a monochromatic palette. So I think by placing the shadows differently and like going a bit overboard, including the lashes and things like this, I just gave it a little bit more variety, maybe, because I just wanted to show you that there is a lot in this if you are willing to go the extra mile. So that is what I really wanted to say. And now I just, because my rash has cleared up a tiny little bit, one can still see a little bit, but it is nothing major anymore. So I'm going to just quickly go through some swatches and show you how they look. Now I cannot name them because there are no names in the palette, but I still wanted to show you how they look. Now the formula is super pigmented, and I'm going to of course show you while I'm creating the look, and also I'll talk about it later on again. The formula is super pigmented. It is very soft though. Like when you go in with the brush, you cannot use a lot of force because it will crumble on you, but the pigmentation, once you put it on your eye, and the buildability, I shouldn't take this away because nobody is going to watch this video to the end if I'm already giving you my review part. But anyway, just saying that it comes across like you would not believe. You will be really surprised, but go in carefully with your brush. So this shade here is a beautiful sort of white bluish leaning shimmer. I don't know if you can see it really, that the camera is picking it up. It is more of a thinner shade. It is more of like a topper shade that you can put on top of all of the other ones, you know, which is really nice. Then we have a pressed glitter. I'm not priming my skin now here, so when you have glitter glue on, then this of course is going to show up much better. I should clean my fingers in the meantime, but anyway, I've not done swatches for such a long time. I'm really excited to do this. So, and I also like to do swatches now, like in a small palette like this, do swatches that are not high sped up, because I want to enjoy it and I want to talk about makeup and I want to talk about the shades, you know. Okay, so this is now I think the 3rd matte that we have in the palette. Let me just build this up a little bit. like that. Then we have another shimmer that is actually probably the corresponding shimmer, or maybe this one is the corresponding shimmer. I'm not 100% sure because they are pretty like similar in the way they look. They have like a lot of character. How do you say it? Character traits. I don't know how to say this. That have things in common. You know. Forgive my English. It's ridiculous at this point. I should be so much better by now because I've been doing this for so long already and I'm still not improving my English. Okay, so now we have all of the shades here. I hope you can see the color scheme really, really well. I really hope. Okay, so this is the shade, which is this one here in the corner, which has a very, very like a big gray character on it, which is also what I'm wearing here at the corner here, or at the lower line. You know, this is really the darkest shade in the palette, I would say, and all of the other ones are you can really see that they're siblings, you know, and I think this is really, really nice. I think it is a spectacular color scheme. I will though tell you at the end of the video the one thing that I would have changed, but that is just me, you know, so you can make of course your own decision about what you feel about this color scheme. I thought because it was the first time that I actually really worked with a monochromatic palette, that for me it was a challenge that I was super, super happy to get into, and just to play with like a limited amount of creative material, because it's all blues, you know, so you are limiting yourself, but by doing that you're sort of spiraling out of control because you are overcoming a hurdle. Something like that. Does anyone understand what I'm saying? So good. Let's not drag this out artificially. We're going to go right into the look that is this one. That is this one, and after that I'm going to give you my review, and I hope you enjoy, and yeah, so let's do it. outcome. Okay, now we're done. This took me, like in real life, this took me so long. It's probably the longest look that I've ever done. So, but it was totally worth it. I'm totally in love with the outcome. It's a bit unexpected probably because I chose different lashes and they are insane. I've never worn lashes like this. I feel a bit like a clown, honestly, but I just want to try new stuff. So yeah, that's what I did. Okay, so what do I think? What do you think? Okay, so let's zoom in maybe, and then you can make your own, pass your own judgment. Okay, so now let's chat a little bit about the palette. Okay, Thin Ice palette. I have now, after this look, used all of the shades in the palette with all the, like the two other looks that I've done that you have seen in the beginning of the video. So I think this is, again, and you probably have seen, if not, then it's going to be on my channel, the first impression of the Elysium palette from Copacetic Cosmetics. It's the same amazing, super buildable, super pigmented formula that I know and I love. I just cannot believe, how is this done? How do you create stuff like this? I really don't know. I don't know. Did you see that? I'm not 100% sure now because I don't know yet. I haven't edited this yet when I'm filming this, obviously. In the beginning of the look, when I put on that light blue, how that went on, how boom, like how can a light blue go on a very fair person like that? I don't know. I have no explanation for this. This is like, I don't know. The formula of Copacetic Cosmetics is absolute insanity in the best way. Yeah, so, okay, so let's chat about the palette because I could go on about the formula. I don't know. Yeah, I would talk more about it if I had the words to explain it. Seriously. Okay. So I do really like this palette for what it is. It is a monochromatic blue palette, okay? So there is a limitation to what you can do. I mean, you can do maybe like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 looks that are all blue, okay? So let's not kid ourselves. It is a monochromatic blue palette. I think though, you can still do some really lovely looks just combining the lighter ones, which is really nice, you know, because not everybody needs to be like me. All right, so I really focused on the darker ones because of course there is an overwhelming dark body in the palette, okay? The only thing that I would have changed, but that is really something, and you hear me saying that all the time, that is a pet peeve that I have with palettes that I'm always like looking for, is that I would have liked to have like a real dark blue matte in the palette instead of maybe one of those 3 shimmers. That would have been my thing that would have pushed it over into out of space kind of a thing, you know, but that's just me. Even like that, I think the palette is really brilliant, and I absolutely, when it was sneak peeked, I don't know, in fall 2018, no, 19, sorry, 19, I underestimated this palette. Absolutely. I only saw later when I ordered it how much potential this palette has. According to my experience using all of the shades, they all worked really well, super pigmented, blendable. I don't know though if it is as blendable on a unset surface. Now I worked up here, I worked on a set surface because I knew that I wouldn't have like a huge range of lighter colors to blend it out with. I basically only have this one, so that's why I did set the upper part above my crease. So I don't know on a unset surface how blendable they are. Have not experienced that, so I'm just going to say openly, I don't know. But from what I experienced, the blendability was absolutely there, and the buildability is like insane, and the pigmentation is insane. The shimmers are absolutely beautiful. I can only highly recommend this palette. I'm just so sad that it is springtime now by the time I get to work with this, because I ordered this at the end of December, you know, and I went to America to my best friend, and then it got here. Like, it's like a whole outdrawn process for me to get something, you know. While I'm super happy that I am at all able to get something, it is sort of borderline annoying. that I have to wait for so long, but that's it, that's what it is. So it is the melting thin ice palette by now, because you know, there is no thin ice anymore, at least not where I live. Okay, so I really love the palette. I love Copacetic Cosmetics. I highly recommend for you to check out that brand. Also the Elysium palette. The creativity behind the releases of Copacetic Cosmetics is something that it makes me feel like I want to crawl into their heads and just share a little bit of that bliss, you know. And I am for myself a creative person, but I feel when I look what they come out with, the color schemes and how they feel, or she, I don't really know who is behind the brand. I think it's probably a woman, I don't know, but anyway, sorry. How she, I'm just gonna say she, sorry if it's wrong, how she feels colors and how she puts them together, and how like the nuances, and it's insanity. So I really love that. This kind of insanity I absolutely support and absolutely love. So I just highly recommend this, and also the Elysium palette. They are really ranking high in my favorites in my collection as of right now. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I hope you did too. So if you're new here to my channel, then please subscribe and stick around if you want to check out my other videos. I would really love that. Plus you will find everything that I've used in the description box down below, plus my social media and everything you need to know. And leave me your comments. What do you think about the look? Is it too over the top for being in isolation because of coronavirus, or is it absolutely called for because that's what we have to do to keep ourselves sane? So yeah, let me know. Alright sweeties, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you here next time for my next video, which is going to come up super soon. And up until then, go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.